Welcome to Chatter Tech Briefings, here with the top 5 briefings of the day. Today we talk about Gemini on Samsung phones, ByteDance Trae, how Uber finds your ride, DoorDash winning food delivery, and a Nobel Prize winner on creating AGI. As always, you can follow us on the phone, in our app, or on the web, chatter.io. So without further ado, let's get into it. Gemini replaces AI assistant Bixby in Samsung phones. Gemini now supports complex multi-app tasks such as finding a restaurant and sending it to a friend in just one prompt. By having multi-app support, it really simplifies AI workflows. So rather than just sending a prompt to AI, for instance, what are the best restaurants, or copy-pasting an email and asking for a draft, it can execute multiple steps because it has access to certain tools. And that's really the future of AI, having the ability to execute workflows, because it's about, hey, I just read this email, now I want this draft, highlight this, and it's not just responding into a text prompt field in somewhere in a ChatGPT app or a Gemini app, but rather it's automatically drafted in your Outlook folder, in your Gmail account. It's added to your calendar. So this integration into Samsung phones comes with integrations into native apps such as calendar, notes, reminder, and clock. So there's a little bit of magic, but let's be honest, that's not the end of the story, and it's not all the things that we want. And that we need to finally stop copy-pasting everything. Next up, ByteDance Trae is out. Beware, Cursor, and Windsurf. Trae, an AI coding interface, delivers real-time code generation and supports multimodal inputs like images. And the key features that this EDI, so coding interface, has is the autocomplete and the image-based collaboration. And so the thing that really differentiates Trae from the other software like Cursor or Windsurf is that you can input images. So now if you're drawing, this is how my app looks like on a napkin, and you can just give it to the software who can turn it into a prototype. Now this really simplifies web development or app development in general for non-technical founders. I think the jury is still out how sustainable this advantage will be, as other coding tools already have integrations, for instance with Figma. So when you have a design, you can import it and turn it into a prototype as well. And these other tools might have better workflows for established developers who will still execute on the lion's share of app development. Moving on. How Uber finds your nearest driver in seconds. Uber's H3 system subdivides the world map in hexagons, indexing areas as small as 1 square meter. So in simple terms, Uber is looking at a map in little hexagons. It knows in which hexagon you are is, and it knows in which hexagon other drivers are. So through that, they know which car is the closest. And that works slightly better than using squares or circles or any other shape or form, because neighboring hexagons will always have the same distance. Well, it's still not perfect, right? It doesn't use actual street systems, so it might be close on the map, but there might be a traffic jam or traffic lights in between, so maybe a different one that might be another driver that might be another hexagon away might be closer. So it's just one step and then running a simple estimated time of arrival algorithm to really get you that closest driver. Next up, Nobel Prize winner on creating AGI. Demis Hassabis, Google DeepMind CEO and recent Nobel Prize winner, predicts AGI is still 3 to 5 years away. Hassabis says while AGI is years away, AI tools today offer huge potential for personal and professional use, even if imperfect. He's focusing that AI already has problem-solving capabilities. For instance, using the Google product suite like Notebook LM and Deep Research, professional workers can do knowledge worker tasks with quite some efficiency and a baseline quality. So the barriers for AGI are still that AGI makes up their own hypotheses, so not just relying on human input in terms of what is actually important about a certain question. I find while AGI is a topic that frequently comes up in top AI companies and their leaders for professionals, priority should be how to master AI tools in your everyday professional life, so that the next 3 to 5 years, or whatever time it will take for AGI to be here, you can maximize your own success. Last one, the number one rule of marketplaces: why DoorDash prioritized restaurants. DoorDash increased market share in food delivery from less than 10% in 2017 to over 60% last year. Whenever you have a marketplace, you have sellers, so these are the restaurants, and you have buyers, so consumers ordering food. And those sides are not created equal. One side will always be more important than the other side. DoorDash insight was they first focused on restaurants that have been overlooked by their competitors, such as in suburbs, and then they made restaurants their priority by offering better deals or easier payment structures, lower fees than what they would have to pay with Uber Eats. And that meant that over time, the best restaurants migrated to DoorDash. And because DoorDash had the best restaurants, users also migrated to DoorDash. But it wasn't a smooth ride. In 2019, for example, their main competitor Grubhub was profitable, while DoorDash was at minus 54% EBITDA margin. That is terrible, and they needed to raise emergency funding just to stay alive. They didn't choose the easiest route to start with, but they knew where the long-term value for their use case is in restaurants. That's it for today. Like and subscribe, and I see you in the next one.